Hello, Internet, and welcome to the 6th annual Big O tournament coming to you from occasionally lovely Eugene, Oregon. It's not that lovely outside right now, but you can't see it, so don't worry about
Welcome to Oregon.
Right? But here inside the Lane Event Center, we've got 3 days, 3 tracks, 50 full-length games, nearly 500 skaters, 18 women's teams, 9 men's teams, 4 juniors teams, 7 countries represented, 2 world champions, and 2 extremely attractive hosts here to tell you all about it. My name is Justice Philgood Marshall. I am from Denver, via Chicago, via Baltimore, and I'm pleased to be joined here by Ophelia Mellons. Good morning, Mellons.
Hello, and welcome to the Big O 2017. Justice, you mentioned we have 7 countries represented here today, so let's do a quick rundown of who we have in the house. From Canada, we have the WFTDA's Terminal City and the MRDA's Vancouver Murder, both out of BC. Chinook men's from Calgary, and a juniors team, Gapland, from Saskatchewan, which is somewhere above Montana and North Dakota. From Australia, we have, of course, the Victorian women's team, currently ranked number 1 in the WFTDA, as well as a new MRDA team, also out of Melbourne, is the Victorian Vanguard. In addition to the new Sydney Roller Derby League, making their debut here at the Big O. From Sweden, we have Crime City out of Malmo. Helsinki is in the house. From New Zealand, we have Pirate City coming out of Auckland. We're going to see them play pretty soon here. From Argentina, we have 2x4, Dos por Cuatro out of Buenos Aires, Argentina. And from Mexico, we have the Wheels of Mayhem out of Baja California, Mexico. And we got a few minutes here before we get into our first 2 games. And 3 of those international teams will be playing this morning. Behind us here on track 1, it's going to be Pirate City versus Sydney. And then on track 3, the B teams from Victorian and Angel are going to be going at it.
Yeah, and along those lines, no team is getting a better sense of international flavor than Windy City out of Chicago. As mentioned there, I spent 6 years in Chicago, so near and dear to my heart. All 4 of their opponents this weekend are from outside the U.S. Terminal City, Dos por Cuatro, Pirate City, and their opponent at 2 p.m. today, Helsinki from Finland. We're going to talk about that a little bit. These teams have never matched up before. Now, given the rankings that came out yesterday for Windy City, it's a particularly important weekend. They dropped from number 35 to number 38, so literally less than 24 hours ago, going from Division 1 to Division 2 this weekend. It's going to be possibly a make or break for them in trying to make it into Division 1 playoffs. On the flip side of that, Helsinki's been rocketing up the rankings pretty recently. Yesterday's release saw them move from number 22 to number 16, their highest spot ever in the WFTDA rankings. Last month, they had a very respectable loss to then number 4, now number 6, London. They lost by 79 points, so they're very much a team to watch this weekend and possibly this fall, Mellons.
Yeah, absolutely. And then coming up at 2:30, a game we're excited about on track 2 is going to be number 5 ranked Angel City versus number 9 Rising Star arch rival. And for the last 2 years, Rose, Gotham, Victorian, and London, they've been the lock in the top 4 champs. But both of these teams, they really want to crack that nut. They're right there, especially the aggressive style of play out of Angel City. They came within 3 points of Victorian last year at playoffs. And, you know, Victorian's number 1 for a reason, so that tells you a lot about Angel right there. These 2 teams haven't played since 2014 playoffs, so that's no good. There's not much information there because arch rival has just shot up the rankings and is really having a strong showing. Last year they qualified for champs for the first time, and that's really exciting. So both teams have unique styles. Angel City kind of bringing back that like burly, tough, hitting, controlling game, and then arch rival a little bit more methodical, grinding, slow, strategy-based derby. So a lot of runbacks there. It's going to be really exciting to see that matchup.
Yeah, looking forward to that one, absolutely. At 4 p.m. on track 1, number 4 Texas versus number 7 Denver. Particularly interesting for a number of reasons. Last time they played was in June. Texas won that one 179 to 135, but there have been some changes since then. Of course, the big one for most people watching this will be the first time you see Scald Eagle, formerly of Rose City, formerly MVP.
Never heard of her.
Never heard of her. She's kind of tall, strong jammer. Helped Rose City win back-to-back championships in the last 2 years, has moved to Denver along with Braun Swanson this year, so that's going to be a significant change that we're looking forward to see. Denver has played one game so far this year. They went out on the road to Gotham, number 2 Gotham. It feels odd to say that.
Yeah.
Number 2 ranked Gotham, defeating Denver solidly, 198-66 3 weekends ago. I think most people thought the game would be a little bit closer given the rankings and the change in personnel on both teams. So this Texas game coming up today should be a good indicator of where Denver is at this year. Over on the Texas side, they've also got one game under the belt so far this year, looking good after a 277-66 drubbing of number 22 Dallas last month. Probably the most notable roster changes over on the Texas side is that this year Fifi Nominon and Bloody Mary are not on the roster at this moment. Fifi was missing early in Texas's 2016 season, but came back in the late season and postseason to be very effective and strong there. She said that, I didn't say that. So we'll have to wait and see if Fifi is back. Also, Bloody Mary retired last season after one of the longest and most successful WFTDA careers ever. So those two major differences in Texas roster this year. Still, though, plenty of talent on the Texas roster. It's been sort of ongoing super team. They brought in a lot of talent from around the nation. Trauma, Smarty Pants, Polygon, Jackie Daniels, Freight Train, all skaters who made their names elsewhere with other teams came down to Texas and working together very effectively since then. So given the results so far this year, I think Texas might be a slightly bigger favorite than the rankings would indicate, but Denver's a lot to prove in this one, Melanie.
Yeah, who knows? In the Big O being the first tournament of the year, you never know what to expect there. So could be a shaky start, a slow start, working up to playoffs, or it could be day one, like game on. Coming up at 8 o'clock tonight over on track 3, Minnesota would be playing Rat City, and that's always one of my favorite matchups. They haven't played since last sibling rivalry last year. Minnesota beat them by about 50 or 60 points. Minnesota has been just reinforcing their troops. They're really strong. Rat City dropped down to number 14 in the rankings yesterday. They did lose Cassie Beck down to Bay Area. And we'll see what Rat City's going to bring today at 8 o'clock. I think the game that everybody's really excited about, we're just barely going to give you a taste right now. Victorian versus Rose City, track 1, 8 o'clock tonight.
Yeah, there is so much talk about that game that we're going to give you an actual pre-show before that show as well. But for anybody who for some reason is watching us here at 9:45 a.m. but does not know what's going on in that game, last year's champions versus this year's number 1 ranked team. So that
3 points.
3 points.
I don't know if they've ever played each other in the last couple of years and not been within single digits of each other.
Right. And Rose City, the only game they lost last year on this very track behind us. So again, we'll get more into that game later on today, but definitely do not miss that. If you are available 8 p.m. Pacific time, you can run the math. If you're on the East Coast, it's 11 p.m. If you're somewhere else in the world, you have to figure it out yourself. Sorry.
Yeah. Welcome.
So that's your overview of the Division 1 WFTDA action for Friday. This is a little bit of the action happening today, though. 18 total games, including men and juniors action. We'll talk about some of that men and juniors action later on this weekend. You can check out the whole schedule on ecrg.com/Big O. You can catch all 3 Texas action either there or on WFTDA.tv. Coming up in about 4.5 minutes, behind us on track 1, it's going to be Pirate City versus Sydney. We're going to hand it off to Bob Knockes and Rich Mahogany for that one. So coming up soon, once again, Pirate City and Sydney. I'm Justice Feelgood Marshall.
I'm Ophelia Mellons.
We'll see you soon.
216 Moody Bitch, 23 Icy Red, 288 Shot Crown, 33 Loco Oreo, number 4 Murder Maid, 53 Juicy Vengeance, number 64 Boss Wheaton, number 71 Need for Sweet, number 77 Slay Her Kitty, and 88 Nick Key, followed up last but certainly not least by number 89 Brat Pitt. Sneaky. I am now going to announce the Pirate City Roller All-Stars. Number 00 Cost, number 07 C3PO, number 8 Sugar Hit, number 117 Sean, number 12 Stone Cold Breath, number 14 Ballistic Button, number 18 Tutankhamun, number 19 Miss Punchbowl, number 409 Mind Yak, number 44 Paper Cut, number 451 Misbehavin', number 55 Rick O'Shea, number 7 Pastor Bells, number 73 Coupe d'Italia, and number 84 Evelyn Flat. While the skaters are lining up, we want to take a moment this morning to thank Emerald City for hosting the Big O every single year. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much to Emerald City for hosting. Y'all have done already a fantastic job and we're just getting started. We love you guys so 288.
Just want to remind everyone again, for clarification, Sydney Roller Derby League Assassins wearing the black with red, and the Pirate City All-Stars the white with black. Both of these teams traveling quite a long way, all the way from down under, to join us here today for Big O 2017.
Direction of play penalty called on Juicy Vengeance.
Nice, that was beautiful.
Goes to Pirate City, that is keeper cut.
Get out of the way, ref.
They're jamming out and Flavor City.
Paper cut calls the jam. 0 points either side. We will reset and start again. Sydney starting with a tack disadvantage, having 2 blockers in the penalty box.
I was just saying, you did see how she got around, right? It was pretty.
Jamming for the Assassins, that is Brett Pitt.
Get out of the way, ref!
Jamming for
She's down, and she's leading.
Pirate City, that is Misbehaven. Misbehaven is lead jammer.
Misbehaven trapped behind a great tripod. Pirate City now dropping their pivot off. Power jam now for Misbehaven. Full 5 grand slam. Misbehaven makes it through turn number 2 for another grand slam.
Woo! Right through.
Brett Pitt returning to the track. And Brett Pitt now with 4 points for Sydney.
That jam ends with 1 blocker from each team in the penalty box, 2 hacker for the Assassins, and keeper cut for Pirate City. Score is 19 for the Assassins, 14 for Pirate City. $23 minutes and 42 seconds left in the half.
It's a very quiet game, have you noticed? One of those teams over there's got a screamer. Yeah.
Jamming now for the Assassins, that is Minky. For Pirate City, that is C3 owned. Penalty assessed to Penny Spew from the Assassins, and lead jammer goes to Minky.
Whoa! Down she went.
Hip check by Evan slapped. go ahead and call that jam off. 0 points on that pass. 0-0 jam. At this time, we'd like to take a moment to thank one of our sponsors, Bruce Skate News. Bruce Skate News, the original over-the-shoulder roller skate holder. 100% skater-owned and operated. You can find them on Facebook, Instagram, or at BruceSN.com.
Jamming now for Pirate City, that is Shan. For Sydney, that is Murder Maid. Sugar Hit headed to the penalty box for a direction of play penalty. And lead jammer awarded to Murder Maid.
And that was
Another scoreless jam. Score remains 19 Sydney Assassins, 14 Pirate City All-Stars. We just passed the 21-minute mark. How many jams has that been with no score? 3? 4?
3, I believe. Yeah. Jamming now for Pirate City, that is Coupe d'Italia. Jamming for Brad Pitt. Jamming for the Assassins, that is Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt is lead jammer.
Both of these teams, one blocker down, forming brace tripods. And now both teams, with the release of their blockers, game changes. Brad Pitt able to slide through on the inside to make a scoring pass for a full 5. Brad Pitt again, able to make her way through another grand slam.
Low down, hold down, taking a seat in the penalty box on an elbow penalty. Low Oreo fighting. Coupe d'Italia for a while. Coupe d'Italia able to complete her initial tap.
Four more points or assassination for the Assassins. And we are going to have an official timeout. 14-point jam just in for Sydney Assassins, increasing the score 33-14 for the Pirate City All-Stars. We just want to remind everyone that is here early with us this morning that we have our fabulous vendor village back there between turns 3 and 4. Some of our vendors include Adam, Capsule Megastore, Kaya Skates, Dermalife, Green Monster, and Hit This Derby here. So please make sure that you go back there and check out our vendors and
I'm like,
get stocked up
I
on
think
some of
I
their
should start
cool
calling Wolf
stuff.
which track is which and where I am.
I'm just trying to remember. I know I have to go to a different track after this one. My shift this day. We're on a
You're
different
on track 2 after this one, yeah.
You sure?
We also want to let everyone know that we do have a big raffle going on, so get your tickets early. Those raffle tickets are one for $1 or one $20, and you get 10
I am not
free.
worried
So
about
that's 20 tickets and you get 15% more.
both of them are very good
I like free stuff.
They were great.
I like raffles. Well, because raffles always have cool stuff. And in this raffle basket, we have things like 2 roller con
I didn't read, but most of them they
Oh, I love that.
That's on
I wish I could go.
All right.
So you are good to go with this for the moment.
All right.
And we'll work on a better solution.
All right. So are we good to just start whenever you guys give us?
We're streaming the
Are we
game.
live right now?
Okay. So we're live. So whenever.
All right. Great. Do you happen to have a mic stand?
Yes, I will get one.
Thank you.
Also, there is another grand prize raffle. So we continue on with roller derby. The official timeout has ended. On the track now for the City Assassins is going to be Chakra, number 288, wearing the black with red, and Ballistic Button, number 14, for Pirate City in white.
And good morning. Welcome to Eugene, Oregon. Of course, you've probably been here for a while already.
Enjoying some roller derby with some nice, quiet, and undisturbed roller derby.
This is Bob Noctis. I'm sitting alongside Rich Mahogany. We've come in from Madison, both of our first time at the Big O. And you are watching Pirate City versus Sydney. Sydney in the black and red. And that would mean Pirate City from New Zealand would be in the white and black.
That's right. Currently, Sydney leading the Pirate City 33-19. We see Ballistic Button jamming, taking lead jam for Pirate City. She's jamming against Chakram for the Assassins. Ballistic Button through the pack, picks up 5 points, going back in for another pass. Gets around the outside, just barely sneaking by number 53. That's Juicy Vengeance for the Assassins.
Yeah, so far we really haven't really seen Ballistic Button being held up by more than a single blocker at the very end. She's made pretty easy go of it.
Oh, and there she goes again, right through the middle of the pack. Another 5 points up for Pirate City.
And it's not to say that any defensive formation is the right way to go, but we're so used to seeing triangle defense that this has been a little bit of a different story, a little change of pace from a lot of what we see in the States, I think.
Yeah. Well, we will see what both of these teams will be bringing as we get into this team. So with that, we have 33 points up for Pirate City now, bringing this to a 6-point game. Assassins at 39.
Definitely been a game that's been one of streaks so far. Bigger jams for each of the teams, kind of back and forth.
So taking a look at who's jamming here, we have Misbehavin' wearing the Jammer Star for Pirate City. She's jamming against Murder Maid for the Assassins.
And now we're going to see the triangle defense up front. We're going to see how difficult that it is now become to get that lead jam.
Yeah, Murder Maid really trying to juke back and forth by that triangle defense of Pirate City up at the front. Not having any luck, but she does have a little bit of help from Slayer Kinney. Her pivot there, trying to break up that triangle. No lead jammer yet decided.
You can see her dip her shoulders into that triangle, but she's not able to can opener to that open. Now, sometimes you need a little help from your friend. She gets a little offensive help, and that gets her through.
All right, so Murder Maid now through. However, on a no pass, no penalty, she is not your lead jammer. Lead jammer now does go to Misbehavin' for Pirate City.
Unfortunately for Sydney, we're going to see two blockers take a seat for illegal blocks.
So Pirate City not having a whole lot of time left in this jam to pick up those points. Only have about 30 seconds remaining in this jam. As we do see Murder Maid through now. She, again, was through on a no pass, no penalty, so she did get through first, eligible to score points, picks up 4 points. Misbehaving through the pack, calls off the jam.
That's really pretty incredible. She makes that last pass when she's down to two blockers. It was a 2-4 differential, yet they were able to find just a little room on the inside for her.
Definitely going to be a rough start to this jam for Sydney. Only 2 blockers on the track. So Pirate City is at full strength. We see C3P owned jamming for Pirate City. She'll be jamming against Brat Pitt for the Assassins. C3PO taking up a position up at the front of the pack, bracing or pushing against that triangle defensive formation of Sydney at the front. Oh, a track cut penalty is being assessed against Sydney jammer Brat Pitt. So off to the penalty box she goes. This gives C3PO and Pirate City a power jam. We'll see if they can get their jammer through.
The thing that's a little surprising is there's been a number of Pirate City blockers in position to block offensively that honestly looked like they didn't know what their assignment was going to be. And C3PO probably could have been through before just now.
Well, she does get through now, so C3PO lead jam for Pirate City, re-engages the pack. Nice dodge of a block there by Slayer Kinney. However, she does then get stopped up by the other blockers for the Assassins. Chew Hacker, Lowdown Hoedown, Juicy Vengeance, and then Slayer Kinney there had done the initial block as they were entering the pack. So that jam is going to be called once the Sydney jammer is out of the penalty box. Looks like 3 points up for Pirate City. So that now brings it to a 3-point game. Pirate City 40, Assassins 43.
Both teams really starting to show an improved defense as this game goes by.
Well, so we do have a team timeout being called for by Sydney here. Give us a chance to give a shout out to one of our sponsors, Bruised Skate Noose. Bruised Skate Noose, the original over-the-shoulder roller skate holder, 100% skater owned and operated. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, or at bruisedsn.com.
Well, of course, you and I, as we took a look at this matchup coming in, we know that Pirate City has been in the States already for probably almost 2 weeks.
That's right. They played their first game in the States back on April 28th. I believe that was against Tri-City.
Yes, and they've been perfect so far in their U.S. run. They've defeated Tri-City, St. Chuck's, just squeaked out a victory over the Chicago outfit, and then they beat Emerald City in a game last night. So when it comes to rankings, they're going to take care of the whole thing in this one run.
Yeah, that's right. Like Pirate City, actually, with the new rankings that just came out yesterday from WFTDA, they jumped 32 ranks. They are now up to rank number 55. Sydney ranked 48. Sydney went up 2 ranks with the new ranks. But our team timeout has expired. Let's get back into the action. We see Shan jamming for Pirate City in white, jamming against Minky for the Assassins in black. Minky taking lead jam for Sydney. All right, we see Shan now through the pack herself, looking to make her scoring pass. Minky for the Assassins, I believe has lost track. Oh, I see a helmet cover on the track. So it looks like Minky went off to the penalty box, lost her helmet cover in the meantime. So the helmet cover. One of the track rats went out there and
to pick up the helmet cover, and everybody started yelling, "No!" And that's actually a situation that we've seen happen before.
Yeah. All right, so Minky now out of the penalty box has picked up the jammer helmet cover, redons it, activating her jammer power, looking to get back into the action. In the meantime, Shan has gotten through, picks up a grand slam. That is 10 points so far up for Pirate City this jam, bringing them into the lead.
And right there, you're going to see Minky find a little room on the inside. So she's got points up.
All right, Shan through for 4 points of her own for Pirate City. And there goes Minky picking up 4 points of her own. We will see this jam go for the full 2 minutes.
Oh, nice bit of footwork right there as we see, or a nice bit of lateral movement right there. We see Pirate City Jammer come through the pack. Little dodge to the outside, stay in bounds. I'll tell you, Rich, right now, at least on this jam, Sydney allowing a lot of open space on the track, and for every jammer, that's a dream. And you know, she really was able to skate that entire jam with very little contact.
Oh yeah, she did a great job there, picking up 23 points for Pirate City, holding the Assassins down to 8. So now Pirate City leading by 10 points, 53-63. We're going to see Coup d'Italia taking the jammer star for Pirate City in white, jamming against Murder Maid for the Assassins in black.
You know, it'd be easy to think that the Sydney Assassins and Pirate City, being neighbors of sorts geographically, especially when you consider how big Australia is, New Zealand not being a huge stretch as far as a road trip, you would think that they've seen each other quite a bit, but as you and I have found out, they haven't really played each other. They haven't played each other since 2015, and back at that point, Sydney appears to have been much more advanced.
Yeah, Pirate City did lose that game. They last played against Sydney in 2015 by about 150 points. But having quite a streak since then, played 15 travel games, only losing to Lansing by 15 points. So we are back into the action. Again, Coup d'Italia jamming for Pirate City, Murder Maid for the Assassins. Got a try block at the back, holding back Coup d'Italia. Meantime, Murder Maid pushing against all of the defense for Pirate City. Getting a little help there by number 23, Icy Red. Oh, and Murder Maid now forced to recycle to the back of the pack. I believe that was number 84 for Pirate City that caused that. Eva been slapped. So with that, Coup d'Italia will take a position up at the front of the pack. Although Murder Maid trying to slide through on the inside there, doesn't quite find a hole. And we do have a lead jammer decided. Murder Maid taking lead jam for the Assassins.
Well, I tell you, I really love what Icy Red is doing, and we're going to see more of this out of Dos por Cuatro or 2x4, where you've got a blocker who will slide off the defensive side and play offense just enough to get the jammer through, then rejoin the defense. 2x4 very good at that, but we're seeing Icy Red do that as well for Sydney.
Murder Maid working on a scoring pass. Nice block there by number 44 for Pirate City, paper cut.
And we all know about paper cuts. Man, they hurt.
Oh, yeah. Always happen when you least expect it to.
That's right. No, if they only had lemon juice in the lineup, but we'd be all set.
Wouldn't want to play against that set of defense. So with that, Pirate City up to 63. Assassins closing the score gap a bit now at 56. 9 points separate the teams. So going to this next jam. So Coup d'Italia had gone to the penalty box just at the end of that last jam, so she will be jamming this jam. She's jamming against Brad Pitt, who's taking lead jam for the Assassins.
Yeah, Brad Pitt already putting up 33 points and set to put up some more. And if you'll notice, 2 Wisconsin guys have not called her Brat Pitt yet. It's not an easy thing to do.
I have to like take that beat every time. He's like brat.
Yeah.
Brat.
Yep. As a naughty child, not a sausage you cook on a grill.
So nice hit it and quit it jam there by the Assassins. Again, closing up the score gap. Now only trailing by 3 points, 60-63. Pirate City in the lead. Ballistic Button going to take the jammer star for Pirate City. Jamming against Chakram for the Assassins. So a lot of
I'm sorry, Ballistic Button just low, trying to get through that front 3 wall. They're not going to have anything of it. They collapse on her and squeeze her.
Well, they did just lose Chew Hacker to the penalty box, so that'll loosen up the defense, allowing Ballistic Button to get through and take lead jammer for Pirate City.
Yeah, that came at a bad time. Once you pull her out of the mix in the middle of the track, there's no way you can contain it anymore.
Oh, Chakram now through the pack as well. Both jammers working on their scoring pass. Ballistic Button tries to find that outside line, not quite through. Facing the last line of defense for the Assassins, Need for Swede. Really nice lateral defense here by Need for Swede, holding back Ballistic Button. Ballistic is going to get through, though. Picks up 4 points for Pirate City. So we do see one blocker sitting in the penalty box for each team. The Assassins going to get their blocker back fairly certain. Of course, now Pirate City's blocker also standing. So both these teams will be back up to full strength momentarily. And last number 84 for Pirate City, that is Evan Slap, picks up a penalty of her own.
I tell you, Ballistic Button, Need for Swede's got Ballistic Button's number. She has been all over her at the back of the pack, all over her at the front of the pack. She's blocked her alone. She's picked up her 2 teammates to form a triangle defense. You love it anytime you've got a blocker that's got that kind of an awareness. And believe me, Ballistic was more than aware of her presence.
Now putting on a good showing up there is Ballistic Button. Getting down to this next jam, we'll see Misbehavin' jamming for Pirate City in white. She will be going back up against Murder Maid for the Assassins in black. Oh, Murder Maid trying a little bit of a pivot on the inside line, barely falling down to the inside, forced to recycle back. We'll see if Misbehavin' can take advantage of that. She is called off on a penalty. Did not catch the penalty on that one, but that will give Murder Maid and the Assassins a power jam.
Yeah, I'm almost thinking that had to be a back block, probably. It looked like she was right in the middle of the track. And they've just called a forearm on number 1957. That's going to be Peggy Spew. And we don't want to know how she got that name.
Well, Peggy now is looking to be in a little bit of penalty trouble. She's that was her 6th penalty already. And so we are about 3 minutes remaining in the half, so she's going to have to be really careful going into the second half.
Yeah. Playing roller derby without touching people is really difficult and not quite effective.
All right, so we have a forearm penalty being called against number 14 for the Assassins, Lowdown Hoedown. In the meantime, Misbehavin' is through for 4 points for Pirate City. That is her first scoring pass of the jam. Things slowing down around turn 4. Nice strong brace up at the front by Pirate City. Misbehavin' does get through. That is 5 points. Grand slam for Pirate City.
Well, not only that, we had a really nicely done star pass for Sydney. And right now, Sydney may have gotten the better of that one. They do. It's a 4-2 run.
Wow, that is like just barely there. Slayer Kinney getting through there for the last 4 points there at the end of that jam. Nicely played. We'll see here, Brat Pitt going up to jam for Cindy. She'll be skating against C3P owned for Pirate City. Brad Pitt pushing hard up against the pack, finds a little hole in the defense of Pirate City, gets through for lead jam for the Assassins.
She's just able to get a shoulder outside of number 44 and slide off of her. Just tiptoeing that inside line in the first turn was nicely done.
Brat now in the pack, looking to make her scoring pass with all of Pirate City's defense at the back. She will get through. Picks up 5 points there. That's 5 points for the Assassins. Meantime, C3P owned is through for her initial pass for Pirate City as both jammers engage the pack. Brad Pitt throwing her hips in there, calls off the jam. No points scored on that last pass, so a 5-point jam for the Assassins, holding Pirate City down to 0. We are now looking at Assassins 73, Pirate City 81.
Well, you know, and credit to the back three for Pirate City, because you know Brad Pitt's coming in, and she's going to come in hard, and she's going to throw that backside in there hoping to get a hip pass, and they didn't budge. If there's anything that's become really amazing to me in roller derby, it's the ability for people to leverage their bodies, both directions.
Definitely an important skill here as we see Shan getting through, takes lead jam for Pirate City, jamming against Minky for the Assassins. Both jammers out of the pack, approaching on their scoring pass. Shan through on the outside, jukes by the bit of Assassin's defense. In the meantime, the Pirate City defense wraps around Minky, keeping her back.
Yeah, Sydney really that front three not quite spread far enough out across the track, left some room on the outside. Pirate City took advantage, lead jam.
Yeah, Pirate City now is looking to widen that score gap. Shan now picking up a second grand slam. Gonna re-engage the pack, see if she can do it again. Getting by the last vestiges of Assassin's defense. There it is, another 5 points up on the board for Pirate City. Minky is now through on her initial pass. Shan engaging the pack, but Assassin's defense speeding things up. Number 33, low blow Oreo, but Shan's gonna get by her and call off the jam.
Yeah, kind of a shame that Chu Hacker doesn't go ahead and keep racing with her teammate. I think they would have prevented some of those final points. I mean, the one thing you never see is a team chase you and then think, oh, I should slow down to like a neutral speed and split the pack. I have never in my life seen that happen. So once you got them on the go, keep running.
Now, so we do have an official timeout happening right now, giving us an opportunity to thank Rydell Skates. Shout out to Rydell Skates, proud sponsor of the Big O. So thank you very much for tuning in here. Once again, I am Rich Mahogany with Bob Noxious. You are watching the Sydney Assassins take on the Pirate City Rollers from New Zealand. Currently, Pirate City in the lead with 100 points, Assassins at 73. We do have an official timeout with the period having ended. So we'll see if we get one more jam out of this half, but it's not looking like it.
No, I believe that I think they've just indicated that halftime is officially on. So what'll happen is this official review will come to a conclusion, and anything changes, it's going to be changed at the beginning of the second half. So with that, you know, it's a great time to go grab yourself something out of the fridge. Depending on what part of the country you're in, it might even be time just to pour some Wheaties. You know, little Rice Krispies.
Yeah.
Little beer on Rice Krispies. I've never heard anybody.
That's a breakfast of champions.
Unless
right
you're
there.
under 18, no junior players, please. Or walk the dog, or just, you know, once in a while Mother Nature calls. So you take care of that, and then you come back and visit your friends, Cousin Bob and Cousin Rich, okay?
Yeah, we'll be back in just about 10 minutes. Back into the action. Brett Pitt will be the jammer for the Assassins, starting from the box, giving Pirate City and Ballistic Button a power start.
And there the inside line is going to open up. And there we see number 14.
The Ballistic Button there takes lead jam for Pirate City. She does gonna try to find that inside line, not quite gonna find it, does push her way by number 71, Need for Swede. So that is a grand slam up for Pirate City. Good start for the second half for them as they extend their lead.
Yeah, Ballistic Button having pulled quite a few, her points per jam and her lead percentage per jam is pretty much off the charts. She's in her 4th jam, and she's already pulled 31 points, and I believe she's been leading all 100%
that she has.
of them.
Certainly a good start to the game for her. Now through again for another 5 points. Going to see if she can keep this momentum going. Wow, and Sydney down to 2 blockers on the track. You just see number 5 there and number 53. That's Chew Hacker and Juicy Vengeance, respectively.
Okay, now I like this. Don't wait and let her go through. Run some interference. But I would have liked to have seen her finish that off. Because as I talked about before, when you give jammers open space, I mean, with the footwork and lateral movement they have today, it's just no contest. Last time they gave it to her, she pulled, what, about 23 points.
All right, so Brett Pitt did get through the pack there. Going to cause Ballistic Button to call off the jam. Looking like 4 more points on that last jam for Pirate City.
Yeah, and it looks like the Pirate City coach, or I'm sorry, the Sydney coach, stepping out to have a conversation with the officials. That might have been you know what, at the after party, I'm not buying you beer anymore.
Well, that is not a way, like, you really want to curry some favor with these.
Yeah,
these
you shouldn't
officials.
probably tell them that until they get there.
Right?
Yeah.
You got a whole weekend's worth of games to play yet. So looking down to the track, we see Misbehavin' taking jam for Pirate City, jamming against Murder Maid for the Assassins. Misbehavin' pushing away at a Grace 3-block up at the front, trying to find her way on the inside. Oh, gets in the midst of things, breaking up the triangle. Things are getting a little chaotic around turn 2, but the Sydney defense has recoalesced, ready to keep Misbehavin' back. Of course, as I say that through on the inside, Misbehavin' takes lead jam for Pirate City.
You know, we spend so much time talking about footwork and lateral movement with jammers, but it's to the point where there's so many of these blockers have the same kinds of skills. I think you take a look at Juicy Vengeance and her ability to continually stay in front of Misbehavin', and she proves that point.
All right, Misbehavin' now to the front of the pack, facing up, just
Juicy
as you said,
Venge,
there's Juicy, can't escape the juice. Going up against Need for Swede as well.
Now this is bridged about as far as you can go, so she's going to try and push to the 20-foot zone, outside the 20-foot zone of engagement, but they have bridged almost half the track. And finally she gets the indication that they got to let her go.
Well, so that's 5 points up for Misbehavin' and Pirate City.
You rarely see a team bridge out that far. That was very well executed.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen that in quite some time. So Murder Maid for the Assassins through, looking to make her scoring pass. Misbehavin', though, keeping track of where that opposing jammer is going to call off the jam.
As she's glued to the tail of Juicy Vengeance. I think Juicy Vengeance had her number on that one.
Yeah, so that was a 7-point jam for Pirate City, holding the Assassins down to 0. Pirate City really widening the score gap here between them and the Assassins. Pirate City leads 127 to the Assassins 73 as Coup d'Italia takes the jammer star for Pirate City in white. Chakram will be her jamming opponent for the Assassins in black. Coup d'Italia trying to find an inside or outside line, and does end up finding it, takes lead jam. However, taking a bit of a hit there from number 53. There's Juicy Vengeance again.
Yeah, that's going to be a continued block out of bounds. Juicy Vengeance has to let up before she gets to that outside line. and kept driving her. No, I take that back. She was not the one that was called.
It looks like Slayer Kinney was the one who picked up a penalty for the Sydney Assassins there.
Now I'll just be known as the guy who makes mistakes.
No, buddy. So we do have a star pass here on the Assassins. Need for Swede, now the active jammer for them. Coup d'Italia through, though, for 4 points. As we've got Need for Swede having a little bit of trouble there at the back of the pack with that braced 3-wall for Pirate City.
Yeah, she's got more than a little bit of trouble. She's got a whole world of hurt back there right now.
Now, both sections of the pack bridged about over the quarter of a track, kind of grinding to a halt here as the defenses for both these teams really dig in.
And they either get to the 20-foot zone of engagement or they call split pack, so they have to let her go. And Coup d'Italia has done a really nice job of shaking things up. And that's the difference between a jammer today that's going to be successful and one that is not. You know, you can push only so much, but after a while you got to give yourself some space so that you can come in and hit it and rattle it and keep shaking it up. Because nobody's going to open the door for you.
Yeah. All right, so with that last jam, we see 4 points going up for the Assassins, 13 up for Pirate City. So again, going in favor of Pirate City there. Pirate City just about doubling the Assassins' score, 140 to 77, as we have an official timeout on the track. I'd like to shout it out once again to Rydell Skates. Thank you very much for sponsoring the Big O. And with that, we are ready to get back into the action. We see Shan wearing the Jammer Star for Pirate City going up against Brett Pitt for the Assassins. Shan trying to push up the middle, makes it to the front. Now going to be pushing against the Assassins blockers, Chew Hacker, Lowdown Hoedown, Peggy Spew. Oh, that's going to allow lead jam to go to Brett Pitt out first.
Well, I'll tell you, Low Blow Oreo has really been the glue this time around in keeping that blocking together. If not for her, Shan would have been through quite a bit ago.
Yeah, Shan almost getting the inside lane open, but denied again. That Assassin's defense really going to work on her for this jam. Gonna see if Tootin' Carnage can get up there and help out Shan to get through. Still not happening. Shan has not seen any light at the end of the tunnel on this jam yet.
Well, you know, the one thing about coming through to trying to help as an offensive blocker is you got to drive through somebody. You've got to either move them or knock them down. So many times we're seeing people go into it and like spin around and like, I'm here. Well, it doesn't really do you a whole lot of good because, as you say, that defense is going to coalesce very quickly. You got to break it up.
It looks like Shan just now escaping the Assassin's defense, completing her initial pass. And with that, Brat's going to call off the jam. Great jam there for the Assassins. Only putting up 9 points on that last jam. So edging their way back into this game. So we do have 21 minutes remaining to play.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, certainly not insurmountable, but they're going to have to be very consistent. They're going to have to be very, very careful about giving up power jams. But we also don't know what the effects of losing Minky is to them. And the fact that they've got one other blocker that's sitting on 6 penalties.
Oh, I did notice Slayer Kinney did pick up her 7th penalty, so she will have fouled out of the game. We will not be seeing her skate anymore for this game. We're going to see Murder Maid jamming up against Misbehavin'. Misbehaving pushes away up at the front of the pack against Need for Speed. Does get by, takes lead jam for Pirate City.
Just from watching this game, you know that the penalties have definitely been much more heavy for the Assassins. But when you take a look right now at the fact that they have about 4 people in danger of fouling out, when you take a look at Pirate City, you've got 1. That's a big difference in the penalty swing and what could happen as far as losing talent as this progresses.
And of course, the folks on the Assassins that are in the penalty trouble have jammed the most jams here. So they were clearly somebody that some folks that the Assassins were using to great effect on the track. So we do have Murder Maid going out for the Assassins, picking up a track cut penalty. She's just wrapping up serving her penalty now as Misbehavin' pushes by, trying to get through. That is Juicy Vengeance and Low Blow Oreo. She will get through, picks up 5 points, but looks like that was a little bit of a rough pass for her.
Yeah, nothing comes easy, but a lot of it is just endurance and strength.
Yeah, so we see Murder Maid now back on the track, juking by on the outside. Gonna force Misbehaving to call off the jam.
As she lays on her back and she's got a big smile on her face, I think she felt like, you know what, that's kind of a good time to take a rest here for about a second or two.
Yeah, so that'll be a 10-point jam for Pirate City, once again holding the Assassins scoreless. Assassins now at 87, Pirate City 150. And we've got just under 19 minutes remaining to play, Bob.
So it's gut check time right now for the Assassins, as they can ill afford to give up too many lead jams, nor foul any more people out of this game.
Now we'll see. We do see Ballistic Button taking lead jam for Pirate City. Not seeing her jam a whole lot, but when she does, she seems to be consistently getting that lead position.
Well, she got herself into that brace and into those arms, and technically to avoid the multiplayer block, they have to disengage. That's what happens, and she gets through.
So 4-point pass there for Ballistic Button. Chakram is through for the Assassins again for 4 points. But Ballistic not content to call off the jam yet, looking to make more points, does get through, pushes her way through the Assassins defense for 4 more points.
Yeah, she makes that one look fairly easy. And with that, we're finally going to see Chakram come out for the Assassins.
Pivot for Pirate City, Tootin' Carnage off to the box. That'll be her first penalty of the game. Chakram now through the pack. That's a 5-point pass for the Assassins. Now passing the century mark, 100 points up for the Assassins. We do have Ballistic Button has actually picked up a penalty of her own and is just wrapping up serving that in the penalty box. So there's been a power jam for Chakram and the Assassins. Penalty box now emptying out for Pirate City. Both teams at full strength.
Well, it's Ricochet that really made things difficult for Chakram. It looked like she was going to have an easy run through turn number 1. Ricochet said that's not going to happen, held her up until the power jam was done, and now we see things called off. That's going to be a 5-3 run, and that's going to be, I believe that's going to be in favor of the Assassins.
That's right, Assassins picking up 18 points that last jam. Looking for confirmation here. It looks like 11 up for Pirate City.
I'm getting all nervous because there's like activity going on alongside me here, so we might be getting stereo soon.
Ooh. I wait with bated breath as Brat Pitt through to take lead jam for the Assassins. Jamming against C3P owned for Pirate City. C3P owned, not quite through yet, dealing with, again, that tough triple brace for the Assassins. Once they get that set up, they really seem to have a good time of it. But there we see number 44, Paper Cut for Pirate City, trying to slash that defense up. Not quite successful enough to get her jammer out.
Well, now we see the value of Peggy Spew. Peggy Spew, who they've used on a limited basis because of the number of fouls that she has, really came in and totally changed the look of what looked like was going to be what looked to be a pirate run there.
I'd like to have a quick shout out here to Tybach Production Services. Thank you for filming and live streaming this event.
Yeah, absolutely. I tell you, there's a lot of people involved. When you're running 3 tracks for 3 days, and we need every one of them.
All right, so we're going to see Murder Maid wearing the jammer star for the Assassins in black. Waiting for eyes on that number for Pirate City. That's Coup d'Italia for Pirate City. She is up towards the front of the pack, but she is dealing with the full blocking force of the Assassins. Need for Swede, Low Blow Oreo, Low Down Hoedown, and Icy Red.
Yeah, right there, Pirate City knows that they can handle the jammer with 3 people. They send a jammer over to try to offensively block, but again, kind of a half-hearted attempt. She pulls back into the 4 wall, and right now they're just looking for the 20-foot zone of engagement to come to its end, and they're going to get it pretty soon. There it is.
So Coup d'Italia is through to take lead jam for Pirate City. Pivot for the Assassins, Need for Swede, going to take a seat in the box. Having a rough time getting through is Murder Maid for the Assassins. Coup d'Italia is through for a Grand Slam.
She didn't have much to work with, able to just find a little daylight on the inside, and that's when those quick feet come in, quick feet and toe stops. She gets through there very quickly in the 4th turn.
All right, and we do see a star pass on the track. Assassin's Jammer Murder Maid passing her star over to Need for Swede. Need Swede dons that jammer star. However, Coup d'Italia ain't gonna have any of that. Calls off the jam.
Can we do a swap?
Yep. All right, we are ready now to get into this next jam. Shan wears the jammer star for Pirate City, up against Chakram for the Assassins. Pack off to a slow start as we come up to turn 1.
And now we're in stereo. I feel like we could do some fancy flaming lips kind of stuff. Really just blow the audio files out of the water.
Speaking of things being blown out of the water, Sean gets through, takes lead jam for Pirate City. However, Chakram also through the pack, hot on her heels. So Sean now pushing away at the front of the pack, tries to find that inside lane, doesn't quite get it. Now things kind of slowing down around the second straightaway.
And as I spoke of before, Peggy Spew, a big part of that. That time, nice positional block against Peggy Spew is going to allow her jammer, Shan, to come around the outside, find some room on the inside of turn 4. We see the little apex skip there.
Shan is through, takes a 5-point pass. Chakram still stuck up at the back of the pack, dealing with all of Pirate City's defense. And another grand slam up for Sean. So now Chakram is through. That's 4 points for the Assassins, as Sean just rounds the pack again, is through for another 4-point pass.
Oh, nice move right there. She gets knocked off balance, somehow recovers. I tell ya. She got down into a bit. She bent her knees a little bit, got her center of gravity down, got her balance back, was able to stay in bounds. Very, very nice move.
So we do see another foul out here for the Assassins. Chu Hacker, number 05, is fouled out on that last jam, as we have a timeout being called for by the Assassins. Things looking a little dire here as far as the points and time remaining are concerned. Assassins at 113 to Pirate City's 194. We have the clock frozen at 10 minutes and 28 seconds remaining to play. So we would like to thank Radar Wheels. The Big O is brought to you in part by the Radar Halo. Achieve world-class edging without sacrificing grip. Radar Halo.
And if you would just be tuning in, you were watching this live from the Big O in Eugene, Oregon. We have Pirate City from New Zealand against Sydney, Australia's Assassins. Assassins with about 8 to 10 minutes remaining here in a bit of a hole. And in a hole of about 80 points. That's announcer math. It's never very accurate, but it gives you kind of a round number to work with. And coming off the timeout, they're going to get this thing underway.
Yeah.
Pirate City looking to, in its what I believe would be their 5th game in the U.S. since the 20th of April. They would be looking to go ahead and keep running the table.
Yeah. Now, certainly a rough position to be going into the last part of this game. The Assassins have lost 3 players to foul outs, and one they lost Minky earlier, who was expelled for a dangerous low block. However, not going to let that slow them down. Here we see Brat Pitt taking lead jam for the Assassins. We see Misbehaving Jammer for Pirate City also now through the pack.
Yeah, Brad Pitt, 10 jams, over 55 points at this point. Anytime you put up over 3 to 4 points per jam, you're having a pretty good day.
Yeah, quick jam there for the Assassins.
Which means Misbehaving's having a career. She's got 48 points in 6. And to quote John Lovitz, that would be more, wouldn't it?
All right, lining up for this next jam. Assassins putting up number 4, Murder Maid. Pirate City putting up number 7, Pastor Bells, which I believe this will be one of the first times we've seen her jam this game.
Yep, you're absolutely right. It probably is the first time we've seen her jam.
So Pastor Bell's up at the front of the pack, getting a little bit of help from Paper Cut to break up that triple defense of the Assassins.
But again, Paper Cut just kind of shooting through the middle a couple of times, not really dislodging one. There we go. That's the kind of hit you need. And sure enough, with a nice positional block, but they come back together that quickly.
Yeah, that defense is really not at all shy about getting up close and personal with each other and the opposing jammer. That will allow Murder Maid to get through and take lead jam. Now working on her scoring pass, pushing around the outside. However, pushed out by Eva been slapped, forced to recycle to the back of the pack.
And the one thing about Pirate City, and this is true about anything that we have ever seen in the U.S. from a New Zealand team, the New Zealand national team has come into 2 World Cups with the strongest, most ferocious blocking of probably any team that competes. So it's really no surprise that Pirate City comes out with that same intensity.
We do see a star pass happening. Pastor Bell's Pastor Star over to the pivot. However, Assassin's going to call off that jam before any damage can be done by Pirate City. That was a 5-point jam for Sydney, holding Pirate City down to 0. Score now, Assassins 122, Pirate City 195, as we enter into the final few minutes of this game. Shout out to Hit This Derby Gear, Derby owned and operated. Before you hit the track, hit this. Visit the store in Salem, Oregon, or online at hitthisderbygear.com, specializing in custom gear fitting and skate tech services. Getting back into the action, we see Ballistic Button wearing the Jammer Star for Pirate City, jamming against Chakram for the Assassins. So Ballistic Button pushing away up against that pack, forcing the...
For Swede. She's got that ability because of her height where she's so lanky. She just gets that booty out there, then she gets a torso out there.
But Ballistic Button really good at forcing that pack out, does get through to take lead jam. Chakram is through herself, looking to begin her scoring pass. Ballistic Button now through the pack, 4 points. See number 33, Black for the Assassins, Low Blow Oreo heading off to the penalty box. And she'll be closely followed by number 18 for Pirate City, Tootin' Carnage. So both teams short a blocker as we go into the last half of this jam.
Oh, nice job right there. Oh, it looked like she was going to get through on the inside. She had him pushed to the outside corner. Sometimes you got to take that shoulder and just get it inside of the other blocker so you can slide off. She does, but they catch her.
Yeah, and in the meantime, Chakram Jammer for the Assassins picking up a track cut penalty. So she will be sitting down in the penalty box, giving Ballistic Button and Pirate City a power jam. Ballistic Button through for 5 points. Penalty box now empty with the exception of the jammer for the Assassins.
And Ballistic Button leading all jammers with 69. It's going to be more than that now. I believe that's going to be 74 points. That does not suck, my friend.
So we out that we are waiting through for the Assassins.
Are we good or do we need to stay muted? I don't know. No, he can open.
So taking care of a few mic difficulties here. Apologize if you've been having any sound troubles. With that, the timeout has expired. Going to see the skaters taking the track once again. C3PO and will be jamming for Pirate City, going up against Chakram, who ended that last jam in the penalty box. So power start for C3PO and the Pirate City Rollers. C3PO taking the whole pack out to the outside, juking out to the inside, does get through to take lead jam. However, taking a bit of a hit and little falling to her knees, that allows the Assassins to get in front of her. So now she is the lead jammer. However, will not quite be beginning her scoring pass as she pushes by Need for Sweet at the front of the pack, and there she goes. Not only lead jammer, but now looking to begin her scoring pass.
Yeah, Pirate City just pounding the final coffins into the nail. Or they're going to kill 2 stones with 1 bird or something like that.
That one bird is very dangerous.
Yeah.
So Chakram is now back on the track. She's swapped with Need for Swede. So Need for Swede is now hanging out in the penalty box. Chakram through on her initial pass. C3PO though gonna call off the jam. We will see how many points.
I think the point I was trying to make is there's like 4 minutes left, and you know, the Pirate City Rollers are not going to take the foot off the gas.
Oh,
so
no, Pirate City is really pulled ahead of the Assassins here, leading by almost 100 points, 124 to 218. As we get into this next jam, Brett Pitt going up to jam for the Assassins. He'll be jamming against Shan for the Pirate City Rollers.
well, and at this point, Assassin City has fouled out 3 and had 1 ejected. So when you take a look over at the bench, you see about 3 extra skaters.
Yeah, that was definitely, it seemed to be about the time that Pirate City started pulling away with this game once, because those were some heavily used players by the Assassins. Now we go lead jam going out to Brett Pitt. So she is going to be making her initial scoring pass. We're not seeing a jammer star on the helmet cover of Shan. However, her pivot was not in a position to receive the star. They're now working closely together towards the back of the pack. Not seeing that pass happen yet. In the meantime, Brett Pitt through for a grand slam for the Assassins.
This Pirate City team, very, very popular among the announcers. I keep getting messages from the Kalamazoo tournament that they played. I believe it was last weekend, talking about how much they enjoyed watching these girls and enjoyed these girls in general. So props to the ladies making a real positive statement here, and that's a big deal. That's a big deal when you come in. You know, it's hard to make it into the States, but you come into the States, you play well, you make a positive impression with the Derby community. They're going to go home with a lot more friends and a lot more Facebook messages.
Most definitely. Hope they're having fun. I am certainly having a blast watching them. We hope you folks at home or wherever you may be watching this are having as much fun as we are. Getting bound into this next jam, Murder Maid jamming for the Assassins up against Misbehavin' for Pirate City. Lead jam does go to number 4, Murder Maid. She is through, takes a little tumble, but the Pirate City not able to get in front of her. So coming around the track, Misbehavin' through the pack herself, really picking up some speed.
That's going to be a back block call, well warranted. And now she's going to get, if she doesn't get off the track, she's going to get an insubordination call. And she does.
So she will also be joined by Icy Red in the penalty box. So power jam for Pirate City and a head a blocker. Misbehavin' having a rough time up the front against the remaining Assassins blockers. Low down, hoedown, Peggy Spew, and low blow Oreo. Those 3 have really been quite the triple threat on the track for the Assassins this game. And now the Assassins have managed to burn through that power jam for Pirate City, as the penalty box is now emptying out. Oh, it does look like Peggy Spew has, that'll be her 7th penalty for Peggy Spew sitting in the penalty box. So that'll be it for Peggy as we go into the last seconds.
But I'll tell you, she made it the entire second half after going into the coming out of the first half with 6. She spent quite a bit of time out on the track the last 15 minutes, so she doesn't fall out until now. She's done her job.
So we do see the period clock has expired. Looks like Pirate City content to just play this one out until the jam clock expires. That brings us to the end. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll wait for just a moment here to make sure we get you the official score, but that will certainly not change the outcome here. Pirate City Rollers emerged victorious against Sydney's Roller Derby League, the Assassins, in this, the first game on track 1 of Big O 2017. So we will wait just a moment for that official final score. There we go. Official final, Assassins 137, Pirate City taking the win with 229.
Well, I tell you, Rich, this was a fun game to watch. It was certainly a game of two halves when it came to Pirate City. The Assassins just gave up too much. Couldn't quite pull it back together. Pirate City now into their 5th or 6th win in the U.S. As we have spoken about before, they had played 4 games. Will be their 5th win, I believe.
Yeah, that it will be. It is quite the tear for Pirate City, so huge congratulations go out to them.
And of course, this is the first time that I've seen Sydney. Other than the VRDL, we don't get a lot of Australian representation over here. You're going to want to hang around because we are going to see the VRDL men's team during this tournament. So that should be pretty exciting.
Yeah, looking forward to all of the Derby we have coming up here. If you want staying tuned here on track 1, coming up at noon Pacific time, you're going to see New York taking on the Chinook. That'll be a men's match. So keep it here for that match. Otherwise, feel free to jump around to the other tracks. We got plenty of awesome roller derby happening all day long, all weekend long.
Not much more to be said than that.
Yeah, well, so I believe that'll about do it for us here on the stream for the first game on track 1. Thank you very much for joining us. I've been Rich Mahogany.
And I've been Bob Noxious, as far as I can tell.
Thanks again for joining us. Have a great day. Enjoy Big O 2017.